Who will stop Dallas's growth to become the heart of the American nation? Certainly no one. No city even. Dallas is on a mission to become the best city in the US, and there are no doubts about the fact that it will achieve this by 2050. Join us in this video as we explore the Dallas insane city of the future. The Dallas-Fort Worth metropolitan region is a prime example of contemporary American urbanization, and is situated on the southern plains, distant from the country's coastlines and major river systems. According to updated data from the 2020 census, DFW's population has increased by around 1.3 million over the previous 10 years to just under 7.7 million, making it the fourth largest metro city in the country. The Metroplex owes its enormous expansion to railways, interstate highways and airports, as well as unprecedented levels of economic freedom and affordability, rather than to natural advantages. In an ancient Texas adage, a braggart is said to be someone who is all hat and no cattle. But you can't say that about Big D, which is quickly becoming the American heartland's de facto capital. For a better understanding, let's go back a few years. 40 years ago, the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex had fewer than 5 Fortune 500 business headquarters. Now it is home to 24, second only to New York and Chicago. The economy of DFW has expanded noticeably more quickly than that of its three main competitors, New York, Los Angeles and Chicago, and it has seen less job loss during the COVID-19 epidemic than any other of the nation's 12 biggest metro areas. The nation's 50 biggest metros' average rates of population growth have increased roughly 3 times as quickly. Net domestic migration has contributed significantly to this growth. DFW is one of the top 20 of such areas in the US, with the 4th highest rate of net income migration, including millennials, and a sharp increase in the number of foreign-born residents. Demographers predict that DFW will overtake Chicago to become the 3rd largest metro region in America when its population reaches 10 million somewhere in the 2030s. Enhancing the brand. Dallas has become a regional financial hub as a result of the Texas oil boom in the early 20th century. The state's economy was still based on resource extraction, a sector that was dominated by the large eastern cities. Texas remained New York's most valuable foreign asset, according to Governor and Dallas native Pappy O'Daniel. However, the commercial leaders of the nascent metropolis had ambitious aspirations and a knack for self-promotion, even as they bowed to the east. Dallas is what it is because the men of Dallas darn well designed it that way. According to Fortune's observation in 1949, Dallas doesn't owe anything to chance, nature or destiny. The Dallas Citizens Council, a business organization that Darwin Payne, a historian, has referred to as the logical oligarchy, began to transform the city in the 1930s. They did this by constructing parks and cultural institutions, supporting the expansion of Southern Methodist University, and establishing yearly tourist attractions, particularly the State Fair of Texas and the Cotton Bowl College Football Championship. Their efforts were fruitful. In a 1946 feature, New York travel writer John Gunther disparaged Houston as impolite and materialistic, but commended Dallas as a wonderfully cultured, small metropolis with upscale accommodations, dining options, and department shops. He further nicknamed Dallas downtown a mini Manhattan, due to its unusual policy orientation, growth-friendly, with less onerous corporate regulation and higher taxation than long-established urban centers in the Northeast, the Midwest, or California. Dallas is now economically separating itself from the country's long-established urban centers. These variables have enabled the area to significantly outperform the main metro areas in the Northeast, Midwest, and West Coast in terms of living expenses and business expenses. Texas's cost of living on average is around 6% lower than the national average, whereas California's is on average about 40% higher. In late 2020, the typical home price in DFW was 4.3 times the median family income, compared to an average of 5.6 times in the 20 biggest metro areas in the US, and up to 9 times in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Silicon Valley. A magnet for magnates. Businesses are drawn to DFW by its favourable location and low costs. Texas Instruments, American Airlines, Southwest Airlines, Kimberly-Clark and D.R. Horton already have their corporate headquarters in DFW. And in recent years, prestigious firms like California-based Jacobs Engineering, Fluor, Toyota Motor North America, McKesson, Tenet Healthcare, CBRE and Charles Schwab have all established their North American headquarters there. DFW has grown to become the third largest financial hub in the country. The area's scattered financial institutions may not have the same appearance as those found in Manhattan, but they are still expanding. In 2007, Comerica relocated its corporate headquarters from Detroit to Dallas, while more recently Charles Schwab and First Foundation have moved from California. In recent years, the northern suburbs of Dallas have also seen the opening of sizable State Farm and Liberty Mutual operations. Even Nasdaq is apparently thinking about moving from the New York region to Dallas. The DFW metro area, along with the other sizable metro areas of the thriving Texas Triangle region, Houston, San Antonio and Austin, are being transformed by recent changes in domestic migration patterns. More than any other US metro, DFW had net inward migration of more than 500,000 from elsewhere in the country between 2010 and 2020. And inflows of young families have given DFW a younger population than others. Dallas-Fort Worth is becoming increasingly diversified due to migration as well. In most other US metros, black and Hispanic inhabitants have lower incomes, lower home ownership rates and worse living standards than in Dallas-Fort Worth, according to a report by the Urban Reform Institute, and they've shown their discontent by moving away. Black and Hispanic populations have been moving away from the northern and western cities and moving in huge numbers to Sunbelt metros like Dallas-Fort Worth during the last 10 years. Growing up in the border community of McAllen, Texas, Marianne Pierre Fordsham moved to Dallas as a young adult, created Career Management Partners, a company that specializes in minority hiring and job placement, and expanded it into a $5 million corporation with 56 people. She believes that immigration has caused Texas to change rapidly. Large satellites in the suburbs. North of Dallas, in the counties of Collin and Denton, is where the North Texas economic boom is concentrated. About 3/4 of the metro's population increase during the previous 10 years was accounted for by suburban towns beyond the region's two major cities. With a combined population of 2 million, Collin and Denton counties are home to more people than all but 4 American cities. Plano, McKinley, Frisco, Denton and Allen are the 5 biggest suburban communities in these counties, and their combined population currently outnumbers that of San Francisco. Between 2000 and 2019, the population of these cities almost doubled. These suburban areas have succeeded in developing infrastructure ahead of surging population expansion and creating plug-and-play chances for relocating businesses, according to Fred Perpall, CEO of Beck Construction and past board chair of the Dallas Citizens Council. They are also far more affordable than Dallas's central business district and provide excellent public schools, low crime rates, and both. As a result, North Texas is seeing not just the largest rate of population growth, but also a disproportionate number of corporate relocations, including those of Toyota and Liberty Mutual, as well as business expansions from Peloton Interactive, Qualtrics, and Aimbridge Hospitality. The northern suburbs dominate employment in DFW's technology, telecommunications, and back-office processing businesses, forming an ever more autonomous economic structure. Jobs are expanding faster than population in Collin and Denton counties' major cities, where the number of people working during the day is nearly equal to the number of people working during the night. From downtown Fort Worth, the other development corridor in the area extends to the north and west. Dallas has long cast a shadow over Fort Worth, but in the past 25 years, the Fort Worth side of the metro region has seen tremendous development, transforming into a broad dynamic economy with a wide range of industrial and service sector companies. From 46% of Dallas's population in 1970 to 67% now, Fort Worth has seen population growth. Alliance Airport, established by Ross Perot Jr. as the country's first exclusively cargo airport, has solidified the region's status as a major logistics hub and stimulated development on the city's northern outskirts. JP Morgan Private Bank's manager, director for the Central Area, Elaine Agatha, claims that Fort Worth is transitioning from its Western rodeo swagger to economic boom swagger. Contrasting opportunities. Despite its considerable success, DFW is still working to bolster the economy in its vast hinterland, particularly in southern Dallas and southeast Fort Worth. Despite making up 60% of Dallas's landmass, defined as the region south of Interstate 30, only 10% of the city's assessed property value is located here. Dallas Citizens Council CEO Kelvin Walker describes southern Dallas as a big gaping economic hole, and the giant elephant in the room by many Dallas residents as the region's economic energy shifts north and west. The difficulties in southern Dallas are partially a result of past segregation. In 1916, Dallas became the first city in Texas to pass an ordinance requiring housing segregation. Between the 1930s and 1960s, Dallas and its suburbs actively engaged in federal government-led schemes designed to encourage racial segregation and concentrate investment in white regions. In the 1950s and 1960s, Dallas also participated in urban renewal projects that resulted in the physical destruction of many black neighborhoods, including the construction of interstate highway connectors through black neighborhoods like Deep Ellum and Stringtown, and the seizure of black homes to make room for the State Fair of Texas's 3-week-long parking lot. These are being corrected now. Despite these difficulties, DFW seems to be positioned for future development. Compared to Houston and the majority of other major cities, its economy is considerably more diverse. The DFW economy, for instance, was only marginally reliant on the energy industry and was able to withstand the consequences of falling oil and gas prices in 2014 to 15 and once again in 2019 to 20. By 2050, it is anticipated that the population of Collin and Denton areas will have more than doubled, while counties even farther north near the Oklahoma border are expected to see significant increase. Dallas is a city in development. It hasn't reached its full potential just yet. By 2050, the city is expected to become America's most economically and demographically vibrant metro area and will continue to play a significant role in determining the urban landscape of the country. Just in case you haven't, keep an eye on Big D in modern day America. Do you like what you just watched? Then give us a big thumbs up and ring the bell to join our notification army. See you again in the next one.